I want to introduce you our new unit, the Unit 7. The name of the unit is Holidays. And our subunit is 7.2, the longest bus ride. So we have got here exercises, we have got here vocabularies, we have got here grammar rules. Let's begin with vocabulary. But first of all, let's look through the pictures, the photos you see. Photo A, B, C, D, and E. Let's find out, where are these places? So I think the photo A is Sahara Desert. Photo B is the peaks of Everest. Photo C is a tiger reserve in Himalayas. And photo D is the Taj Mahal in India. Photo E, Sydney Harbour Bridge. And now, let's have a look at the words which are in the box. Working pairs. Look at the photos AE. Which of the things in the box you can see? Let's read the words. A mountain, a bridge, a village, a lake, a river, a jungle, a city, a market, a famous building, and a desert. So, let's match some of these words with these photos. The photo A is a desert. Photo B is mountains. You see here mountains. Photo C is jungle. Tiger lives in jungles. Photo D is a famous building. And the last photo E, is a bridge, or we may say it a city. So let's continue. Working pairs. Look at the words in the box above and write an example for each word. Use your country if possible. Yes, it's possible. I want to use some places or some things of our country. So let's use some of them. If I use the word mountain, I can say the word Caucasus. A famous building, I can say our Maiden Tower. City, Baku. River, Aras. Lake, Gögöl. And village, Kınalık. You know that Kınalık is situated in Guba. So, you see here a text, and the name of our text is Ozbas, an exciting way to travel from London to Sydney. So I think that we may have here words which can be unknown for you. Let's look through them. Let's say here ultimate. Ultimate has meaning of main, last. The next word is backpackers. So backpack is a kind of bag. The travelers use this kind of backpack when they travel from one place to another. And the people who use backpack, they are called backpackers. So next word is amazing. Amazing is beautiful, wonderful. And the next word we can say reserve. You see here the word reserve. Reserve is the place where the animals or plants are preserved there. So the synonym to preserve is to protect. And we have got here also the word passenger. Passenger. They are people who use different kinds of transport. They go from one place to another. Um, the passengers use subway, bus, train, or taxis. These people who use some kinds of transport, they are called passengers. So let's read the text. The Ozbus, an exciting way to travel from London to Sydney. The Ozbus is the longest bus ride in the world and the ultimate journey for backpackers. In 12 weeks, it travels 16,000 kilometers through 20 different countries. Most people fly from London to Sydney at 40,000 feet and never see anything, says Mark Creasy from Ozbus. On the Ozbus, people can see the most beautiful places in the world. We go across Europe through Turkey, India, China, Malaysia, and Australia. We travel through deserts, mountains, and jungles. It's amazing. Jeff Lane traveled on the Ozbus last summer. The best thing was the Taj Mahal, he said. The most exciting place was the Taj Reserve in the Himalayas, and I really enjoyed visiting the base camp of Mount Everest. And what were the worst things? Well, in Tehran, the bus broke down, and we waited the whole day for a new one. That wasn't so good, and I didn't always enjoy camping at night. Sometimes I wanted to stay somewhere more comfortable. The Ozbus takes up to 40 people of all ages. At night, the passengers usually stay in camps or sometimes in small hotels. Everyone takes turns to buy food in local markets and cook for their group. The greatest journey in the world? Crazy thinks so. If you want a truly awesome experience, then the Ozbus is for you. That's all. So, reading exercise 2A, read the introduction to the article about the Ozbus and answer the questions. As you see that we have got here two questions. Let's read questions and answer them. First one, what is the Ozbus? Ozbus is the longest bus ride in the world. 2. How many countries does it travel through? It travels through 20 countries. B. Working pairs. What else would you like to know about the Ozbus? Write 3 questions using the words in the box to help. We have got here some words. Countries, price, sleep, people, food, sites. One of these words they have used in their sentences. In their sentence, how many countries does it visit? So let's ask 3 questions. For example, let's ask like that. Our first question is, what is the price of the travel? The second question, what kind of people can travel? And let's ask the third question like that. What kind of food do the passengers use during traveling? I think you can find the answers of these questions in the text. So, exercise 3B. Read the article again. Are the sentences 1, 5 true or false? We have been given here 6 statements. After reading these statements one by one, we have to find out if they are true or false. Let's begin from the first one. 1. The Ozbus travels through 12 countries in 20 weeks. It's false. 2. Ozbus passengers fly from London to Sydney. It's false. Jeff Lane took the Ozbus in the summer. It's True. He liked the Taj Mahal, the Tiger Reserve, and camping. It's false. 5. The most Osbus passengers are 40 years old. It's false. 6. They stay in hotels and camps. It's true. So, exercise 3C. Would you like to go on the Osbus? Why and why not? If I answered this question myself, I wouldn't like to go on the Osbus because I do not like long bus trips. So, we have got here grammar material, superlatives. Exercise 4A. Complete the sentence with the words from the article above. The first one. The Osbus is the longest bus ride in the world. We use the word here, longest. Second one. People can see the most beautiful places in the world. The most. And 3. The best thing was the Taj Mahal. Best. Exercise B. Underline all the examples of superlatives in the article. Then complete the table. So we have got here adjectives, short adjectives, longer adjectives, and irregular adjectives. So great is our short adjective. And if we want to make its superlative degree, we add only est at the end of the word, as you see here, the greatest. And the rule is the plus adjectives plus est. We have to write here est. Exciting here is a longer adjective. We add more in front of the adjective, more exciting. And the rule is more plus adjective. And also we have got irregular adjectives, good and bad. I'm sorry, most exciting. Here we must say most exciting. And the superlative degree of good is best, and the superlative degree of bad is worst. So we have got here C. Listen to the pronunciation of the in the sentence in exercise 4A. Then listen and repeat. We have to pay attention to the pronunciation of the in this exercise.
Unit 7, Recording 4. 1.
The Ozbus is the longest bus ride in the world.
2.
People can see the most beautiful places in the world.
3.
The best thing was the Taj Mahal.
So, you see here language bank. Let's look through the language bank. Our subunit is 7.2, superlatives. So I would like to explain you the degrees of adjectives here. We have got 3 degrees of adjectives: positive degree, comparative degree, and the superlative degree. We have got here short adjectives, longer adjectives, and irregular adjectives. So if we want to make the comparative or the superlative degrees of adjectives of short adjectives, we have to add er in the superlative degree, comparative degree, or est in the superlative degree. And you see here, cold, they have added only er in the comparative degree. So cold, colder, and the coldest est has been added at the end of the word. in the superlative degree. And you see here, est. Nice. They have added only R because the word finishes with E itself. That's why they have written, they have added only R and ST at the end of the degrees of adjectives. So friendly, you see here the word friendly. You may ask, friendly is a long adjective. Why they have added ER or EST at the end of the adjectives? Remember students, don't forget, if the adjectives finishes with ly, we shouldn't add more or the most in the comparative or superlative degrees. We do not write y, we write I in front instead of I, and then we add er. And the same rule in the superlative degree. We do not write y, we write I instead of it, and then we add est at the end of the word in the superlative degree. As you see there, here. These are grammar rules. So, and the last short adjective, big, bigger, and the biggest. Here, big, big, bigger, and the biggest. You see here, they have written G, two G's here in the comparative and the superlative degrees. Double the final consonant. As you see here, G is a final consonant, and they have doubled the final consonant. And now we pass with the next one, longer adjectives. Boring and interesting are long adjectives. We add more in front of the words in this comparative degree and the most in the superlative degrees. Boring, more boring, the most boring. Interesting, more interesting, and the more interesting. The most plus adjective. And also we have got your irregular adjectives, good and bad. Good, better in the comparative, and the best in the superlative degree. And bad is the worst comparative degree, the worst in the superlative degree. So I think you have to pay attention to this part of the grammar rule that we have to add the article the in front of the adjectives which have been used in the superlative degrees. You see here the article there. Use superlatives to talk about the number of one thing in a group. Maria's spelling is the best in the class. Note, the spelling rules for superlatives are the same for comparatives. Well, so we are going to speak about these spelling rules, which are the same with the comparative degree. So let's go back to our lesson. Practice exercise 5A. Make questions about the OSBA strip. Use the prompts below to help. We have been given here prompts, and these prompts will help us. So the first one, what cold place you visited? What was the coldest place you visited? So we have got here some sentences, and we have to make up these sentences. They are uncompleted sentences. The second one, what was the hottest place? 3. What was the friendliest place? 4. What was the longest you traveled in one day? 5. What was the most beautiful building you saw? And the 6th, last one, what was the most what was the most amazing experience of the journey? Exercise 5B, we have to match these questions with these answers. Match answers AE with the questions 1, 6. So let's match them. What was the coldest place you visited? It is E. Mount Everest. Second one. What was the hottest place? It's A. The Red Desert in Australia. 3. What was the friendliest place? It is F. I can't say. We met so many fantastic people. Fourth, what was the longest you traveled in one day? It is D. 400 kilometers. 5. What was the most beautiful building you saw? It's B. The Taj Mahal. I agree with the traveler. The Taj Mahal is the most beautiful or most famous building in the world. And the last one, sixth sense question. What was the most amazing experience of the journey? It's C. Seeing a tiger. So, C. Listen to a conversation with an Osbus passenger and check your answers. Let's listen to the recording and check our answers if we have answered the questions right or not.
Unit 7, Recording 5.
So, Jeff, a few questions about the trip. What was the coldest place you visited?
The coldest place was Mount Everest. We stayed at Everest Base Camp and the temperature was minus 30.
Really? And what was the hottest place?
Well, it was hot in Pakistan, but the Red Desert in Australia was hotter.
Oh, was it? And what was the friendliest place?
Oh, that's an impossible question. I can't say. We met so many fantastic people. Everyone was wonderful.
Okay. What was the longest you travelled in one day?
One day we travelled about 400 kilometres in Pakistan. That was a long day.
Very. So, what was the most beautiful building you saw?
Oh, there were some great ones in Nepal and Bali, but my favourite building was the Taj Mahal in India. I think it's the most beautiful building in the world.
Yes, it is. So, what was the most amazing experience of the journey?
Seeing a tiger in the tiger reserve in the Himalayas. Amazing.
Thank you very much. Let's continue our lesson. Today we have got here the speaking part. I want you, dear students, plan a long journey to another country. Make a list of 5 places to visit, the most exciting, the most beautiful, the highest, and etc. You may use some sentences or some words using from this text. And then discuss which journey is the most interesting for you, the most exciting, the most beautiful, the highest, and so on. So the writing part, checking and correcting. Exercise 7a. Did the students' homework below? Find and correct 10 mistakes with the spelling mistake, past tense forms mistake, singular and plural mistake. We have got here a piece of writing. Let's read it together and correct the mistakes. On Saturday, we went by bus across the desert. Desert is the spelling mistake. We met a lot of peoples. Met past tense form mistake. Peoples, singular and plural mistake. The people is also the same mistake. In the villages was friendlier, was past tense mistake, were friendlier spelling mistake. Then in the city, at night we stayed, past tense mistake, in a camp. It wasn't very comfortable, the spelling mistake, but it was more cheaper than the hotels. We bought, not bite, we bought, past tense mistake, all our food in the market. Dear students, at last I wanted to write 4 sentences about your last holiday. It doesn't matter that you went to some place of our country or a foreign country. Thank you very much for your attention. See you.